Now, did this American Idol break the rules? Why, Kelly may have been keeping a singing secret from the hit show. Are you chomping on illegal cheese? Unit 13 investigates why that cheesy snack could be making you sick. Spiked chocolate that'll get you in the mood. And what men think is the worst thing a woman could say to them. UPN 13 News starts right now.
Kelly Clarkson.
A moment like this, and it may have been a fraud. Now some people are calling her the false idol.
The big story tonight, the woman who captured hearts and a record contract on American Idol may not have been eligible for the show at all. Good evening, I'm Lauren Sanchez.
And I'm Rick Chambers. Kelly Clarkson, of course, became the toast of the music business after her American Idol win, but it could now all come crashing down around her.
That's right. Hal Eisner tells us why. He's live in the newsroom with the big story.
Lauren, Rick, back in September, she was voted American Idol, but tonight, there are questions about whether she followed the rules. Here's her big night, the night Kelly Clarkson sang her heart out. And won it all. Kelly Clarkson. A $1 million recording contract, the prize, after weeks of competing against other amateurs, knocking off one after another. Some, like Belinda Phillips, were glued to it, voting each week for her favorites. Who did you vote for?
For Kelly Clarkson.
Even kids watched it. Did all of you watch American Idol?
Yeah!
Now reports on NewYorkPost.com based on this story and The Star say Clarkson had a recording contract before winning the contest. The Star quotes songwriter Barry Goldberg as saying Clarkson signed a production agreement with us in early March to record a full slate of 12 songs for an album. But after doing 5 wonderful songs, she walked out. The next time I saw her was on TV competing on American Idol. It came as quite a shock. The report says Goldberg and 2 other songwriters have hired a lawyer and are demanding the release of the 5 songs.
Actually, I voted for Kelly.
Says John Espana, who says if it's true,
Probably want to vote for somebody else if it's supposed to be for amateurs.
Meanwhile, Belinda Phillips says,
I think that's wrong.
and adds if Clarkson violated the rules, the singer violated her trust.
Because I watched it week for week. I watched it and voted for her. And here, you know, I put my belief in her.
Tonight, the producers of American Idol are standing behind Clarkson. They say, and we quote, "We at 19 Entertainment, Fremantle Media, and Fox are proud of our winner. Kelly Clarkson did not breach any rules of the competition. They say she won it fairly." I'm Hal Eisner, UPN 13 News.
Our cameras are all over the night beat. Let's start in Westwood, about 8:30, and a famous New Yorker visiting the City of Angels. Of course, that's former Mayor Rudy Giuliani giving a speech in UCLA, all part of a 3-day conference on post-traumatic stress disorder.
Downtown LA, around 7:20, the Coalition for Justice and Women's Rights leading a silent vigil. This one held to remember some 300 women kidnapped or killed near El Paso, Texas. The victims' pictures laid out, some even held up, and that was followed by a moment of silence.
Just after 8, and Costa Mesa is alive with the sound of music. Lots of performers breaking out into song and dance while reenacting Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem. It's a holiday tradition in Mexico brought north of the border to Orange County.
Another big celebration coming to a festive finale tonight. Catholics here in Southern California and throughout Latin America marking the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Dozens of women dancing into the night. It's the final day of the celebration of the Virgin of Guadalupe. Mexican dancers in traditional Indian dresses strutting their stuff outside the new Catholic Cathedral in downtown LA. Today's feast wrapping up 4 days of celebration, commemorating the vision of the Virgin of Guadalupe seen way back in 1531.
That miracle has generated so much faith and devotion in the Latino community and throughout the world.
Inside the cathedral, long lines of worshipers came to get their own look at a woman they call the patron saint of the Americas.
Checking out the City Beat tonight, we want to go to Malibu, where Nick Nolte pleads no contest.
You can't help but learn something from this experience.
Nolte, you may remember, was arrested back in September out on Pacific Coast Highway for drunk driving. Well, today, after pleading no contest, Nolte was sentenced to 3 years probation and mandatory drug testing. To San Fernando now, and another former Catholic priest is charged with molesting 2 boys over a decade. George Miller, he was arrested at his Oxnard home on Monday. He is the 6th former or retired priest from the LA area charged now with sexual abuse.
Also on the city beat, Los Angeles community leaders vowing to take back their streets. They're angry at the alarming growth in gang violence and murder. And no, it's not up to them, not the cops, to stop it. So this spring, a 100,000-man march, a series of 14 peace rallies through the neighborhoods in cities from Riverside to Watts. And now we take you to Van Nuys, and looks like Rudolph might be out of a job. Santa using a helicopter to fly in at Galt Street Elementary School. He and a couple of fine feathered friends spread holiday cheer to more than 500 kids. It's all part of Van Nuys Airport's Adopt a School program.
All right, it's time to get ready, folks, because it's coming now. We're talking about the return of El Nino. It's already packing a major punch up north, and the good news is it's heading our way.
And believe it when we say that's a good thing. Kent Ninomiya is live on the street team tracking this storm. Kent.
Lauren, Rick, yes, that's right. El Nino is back, and the folks here at the National Weather Service are keeping a close eye on any mischief it may bring. Take a look at all these fancy computers they have here. That storm front heading in our direction, well, El Nino probably has something to do with that. It is back, but this time, you may not mind that El Nino has returned. Remember this? El Nino storms mercilessly pounding California, leaving a soggy mess in its wake. Well, get ready for another soaking.
What we could expect is to go from 4.42 inches of rain last winter to 25 inches plus this winter.
NASA satellites picking up something alarming. Here's the view from outer space over the past 2 years. Warm water areas are seen in red. Suddenly, about 6 weeks ago, the water off South America's Pacific coast heated up 5 degrees above normal. That warm water is called El Nino, and it's enough to radically change our weather up here, bringing on the rain. The first El Nino storm will hit us next week.
The location of the jet stream much farther south, and that's going to bring much more moisture, much better winds, much wetter weather to Southern California.
So in essence, we're getting Seattle's rain.
That's correct.
Expect to see a lot of this over the winter, which really isn't such a bad thing. We've just endured 4 years of severe drought.
We need the water. And so a nice El Nino soaking is really a positive forecast. So I want to tell everybody out there, embrace this El Nino.
So now El Nino is our friend. Well, get used to it. We're going to have a very wet winter. Reporting live from the National Weather Service in Oxnard, Kent Ninomiya, UPN 13 News. Rick and Laura.
I'm ready.
Or a friendly winter, whichever way you want to look at it. Well, Maria Quban has more on El Nino.
That's our first look at our weather tonight. Maria.
I'll tell you, it's getting very exciting in the weather department. Ready or not, you can expect rain, snow, wind, and high surf, too. Right now, though, still pretty clear. Check out our satellite movie. We've got the clouds still to our north, but they're definitely working their way to you and I. I'll tell you exactly when you can expect our skies to get rocking and rolling coming up later in my weather.
Taking a trip across America, Atlantic City, it was a massive gas tank explosion that brought down Flight 800 in 1996. Today, the FAA unveils an onboard system to make gas tanks safer and reduce the chance of explosions. It's a cheap, small gadget that pumps nitrogen into the tanks.
Washington, D.C. and Congress makes things bright on the Hill with the annual tree lighting out there. A lot of the reps and senators, tons of people all coming out to see this ceremony. The tree glittering with thousands and thousands of lights and ornaments. It's going to be lit nightly, just like this, through the first of the year.
And a few blocks away, the youngest Washington sniper victim got a visit from the First Lady. Iron Brown sitting next to Laura Bush during her visit to a children's hospital and National Medical Center. He was shot in front of his school. He's doing okay now. Mrs. Bush made the stop just to spread some holiday cheer. And cameras catch one country firing up its nuclear program and a Black Hawk down in Central America.
These are just some of the stories tonight as we slam now into the world beat.
Central Honduras, a U.S. Black Hawk chopper crashes during a training exercise, killing all 5 soldiers on board. The crew was part of a regiment based in Puerto Rico. The cause of the crash is not yet known.
Iraq, where terrorists may have gotten chemical weapons like these. The Washington Post saying a nerve gas may now be in the hands of Islamic extremists linked to al-Qaeda. The White House says they're not sure if it's true, and the Iraqi government calls the charge ridiculous.
To Iran, and satellite photos show that the country may be building massive factories to make nukes. Iran says it's not building nuclear weapons. They claim the plants produce electricity. But experts say one of them appears to be a uranium enrichment plant that could be used for making bombs.
East Java, Indonesia, more bodies found in a deadly landslide. Rescue workers combing through mud and debris. At least 29 people killed in the slide at a hot springs resort, and around 30 others are feared dead.
And tonight, that slide is being blamed on days and days of heavy rain.
Coming up, this rocket was supposed to go up but came down instead. Find out where. It's one of tonight's hot shots.
It's a delicious favorite, but before you take a bite, Unit 13's exposing illegal cheese that could make you sick.
A new list of the most boring entertainers on the planet. Who's number one may surprise you.
What's the positively worst thing you can say to a man? Find out what will drive many guys to tears coming up.
1 year ago, she was on the brink of self-destruction. Now she's an R&B superstar. Tweet talks to women about letting go and moving on.
Tomorrow at 4 on UPN 13.
The holidays, a time for giving.
This portion of UPN 13 News is sponsored by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Trek the halls with UPN Movie Friday.
We're going to attempt time travel.
The Enterprise is coming back to Earth.
Everybody remember where we parked.
To explore our past in order to rescue the future.
Our own world is waiting for us to save it.
Friday at 8 on UPN 13.
Hot shots now. We take you to San Antonio. We showed you this wild video yesterday. A man filling gas cans in his truck suddenly bursts into that human fireball. Well, police tonight say that the cause of the flash fire was static electricity. The man survived with third-degree burns on both of his legs.
French Guiana, it's blast off, but with an unscheduled stop. Shortly after the launch, the European rocket plummeted in pieces into the ocean when the main engine failed to ignite. The unmanned rocket was carrying 2 satellites. This is the second botched attempt in 3 weeks.
Back here in California, at Vandenberg Air Force Base, was also the site of a liftoff gone bad. An interceptor rocket failed to strike and destroy a mock enemy missile that was fired over the Pacific. And you know what that means, folks. Another $80 million of our tax dollars right down the drain.
Well, Savannah, Georgia, a boiler room boils over, triggering flames and smoke on this cargo ship. Tight quarters and intense heat made it a tough fight for firefighters, but they finally get it knocked down about 2 hours.
Near Louisville, Kentucky, an underground gas tank blows, exploding into one smoking site. The building up above, nothing but a pile of rubble right now. This all started when a tanker overfilled the gas tank. Everyone inside managed to get out, though, before the place blew.
New Orleans, a dog's life, well, for this pooch means being stuck in a canal with high stone walls. Firefighters, though, come to the rescue, grabbing the dog with a fishing net and bringing it up to safety. I know. The dog is doing just fine, but nobody knows how this little guy got down there. Poor thing. Okay, an illegal new kind of cheese is flooding the market. It's made in rusty old bathtubs, and you might be eating it and not even know it.
So before you down another one of those creamy snacks, you better find out how to protect yourself. Unit 13's Kristen Lang has more.
It's delicious on a salad or smeared on a cracker, but could your favorite cheesy snack be making you sick? Turns out there's a booming underground market for illegal cheese in California. Just last year, state officials estimate 1.6 billion pounds of the dangerous stuff was sold. Now they're spending weekends tracking down the creamy contraband.
We'll see if we can find the cheese.
Setting up stings like this one in Riverside County.
Hang up just on the edge of Chandler till the rest of us get there.
This may look like a lot of firepower to pack on a cheese raid, but Sergeant Tim Oren says it's not overkill. These cheesy crooks mean business.
We hit them a month ago, and in less than 90 minutes from the time that they opened their doors, we confiscated over $2,000 in cash.
So just what is illegal cheese?
It is processed in a kitchen or in a shed or a garage. There's no sanitation. It's the raw milk. It's unpasteurized. It's coming directly from the cow's udder.
Illegal cheese flows into the market primarily at swap meets and flea markets. So why should you care? You may not buy cheese at flea markets, but your favorite restaurant might.
Some of those restaurants have purchased and possibly resold some of this.
Yep, that cheese crumbled on your salad could have started out right here in a store-bought bathtub in a fly-infested corral. That's how the stuff got its nickname, bathtub cheese. What's worse, Warren says it's often stored in barns or garages with no refrigeration. That's just what Unit 13 found the day we rode shotgun on this cheese bust. The undercover cop bought around here, in this filthy shack in the middle of an animal pen.
This is where our UC is made to buy. The cheese will actually be covered with flies. It certainly looks very disgusting.
Bob Donnelly is an investigator with the Department of Agriculture. He says it's tough to know just how big the problem is because most people never report it, though it can be fatal.
You've seen them in ICU for 5 to 15 days. Sometimes they don't come out.
But most times you just get cramps or a sick feeling in your stomach a day or two after you've eaten a bad batch. So you may never make the connection between the bellyache and the cheese. Kristen Lang, UPN 13 News.
And a spokesman for the Department of Agriculture tells us that this cheese is even turning up in some of the fancier restaurants. It's often rather sprinkled on salads, and its popularity now is growing.
Gotta be careful out there. Well, tomorrow they're Baghdad's bad boys, true seeds of evil, Saddam's 6 sons. Unit 13's got the inside scoop on these blood brothers tomorrow at 11 only on UPN 13 News. Headliners now, scandal-plagued Cardinal Bernard Law may offer to resign when he meets with the Pope tomorrow. Sources say he's discussed it with others at the Vatican. The leader of Boston's Catholic Church under heavy fire for letting priests stay on after being accused of sexual abuse.
Up in San Jose, Yosemite killer Cary Stayner, he is going to die by lethal injection. A judge today upholds the sentence that was handed down by a jury back in October. Stayner murdered 3 park tourists in 1999. The death sentence will, of course, automatically be appealed.
President Bush invests in an investment banker to pick up the economy. Stephen Friedman will move from Wall Street to the National Economic Council. Friedman's first job, promote Bush's new growth and jobs package.
Boring. Yes, Ozzy Osbourne's boring. And according to the Boring Institute. Yeah, there is one of those. They say that he is the most boring celebrity of 2002. Anna Nicole Smith, a very close second. And then everyone's favorite stock advisor, Martha Stewart, coming in a close third.
What'd you say? Anyway, nothing boring about winning the lotto, especially if you do it twice in one day. Well, it happened to this couple in San Francisco. Wow. Each bought just one ticket from this store, and both of them hit the jackpot. $6.6 million after taxes. The odds of that happening, 1 in 23 trillion.
It's probably about the same odds as seeing a 600-pound ghost pig. Folks in a small town in New Jersey claim that they have spotted a giant pig running around, roaming the streets, chewing up their gardens. But it seems it always disappears just before they can capture it. And there are no pig farmers within miles of this place. It's becoming the legend now of Pigfoot.
All you guys out there, just listen up. To seduce a woman, you've got to romance. But sometimes, you know, that's just not enough. Now, a new kind of chocolate, it could help. A sexy cocoa blend that promises to drive a woman's better body wild.
Every guy wants one. A girl that wants you.
I like guys that can eat seafood. Kindness. Just saying nice things.
Those things and some candy might get you a date. But they might not get you lucky. What will? Maybe chocolates.
But not just any chocolate, only these. They're deep, dark treats called K-Sensual.
There are 14 herbs plus chocolate.
Herbalist Roger Hirsch claims the herbs hidden in this coca creation will drive any woman mad with desire.
Rocket fuel, yeah, rocket fuel.
He claims K-Sensual works because the herbs it contains send blood to all the right places.
When the blood moves to the lower part of the body for a woman, she can become more in the right mood, if you will.
That's what I felt. It's almost like just being more aware of that part of your body.
Deborah Shear started eating 2 squares of K-Sensual 2 times a day 4 months ago. What did she feel?
A greater intensity, the arousal part, the foreplay, everything was much better.
But was it this $50 box of candy that brought her to her knees? Hirsch says yes.
Chocolate is theobroma, food of the gods. Well, you put that with herbs, which is another food of the gods, you've got something.
You got something.
All in the chocolate, isn't it? Okay, you can find K-Sensual chocolates at K Chocolatier in Beverly Hills.
You look different in that piece. I can't put my finger on it, though. Motor Trend names its car of the year, and it's a sweet one. Here's a quick peek If you want to know more about it, just wait a little bit.
I'll tell you why later, okay, Rick? And you'll have to be careful with this information. It's the absolute worst thing a woman can say to a man. Relationships coming up.
So take off all your clothes.
Season savings from Shoe Pavilion. Save up to 70% on shoes for men, women, and kids. Like Pavilion now has the
1,000 anytime minutes, and every one of them has rollover. Now take and send pictures with this cool camera phone. Singular Wireless.
This portion of UPN 13 News is sponsored by Singular Wireless.
Motor Trend magazine named its Car of the Year for 2003. Time to find out which Hot Wheels are going to be shaking things up this new year.
It came out of a pack of 27 contenders to take the title. After a grueling battery of road tests, Motor Trend magazine named the Infiniti G35 Sports Coupe and Sedan the Car of the Year.
It's a great car to drive.
Motor Trend's editor-in-chief Kevin Smith says this Infiniti took top honors thanks to its cool, casual luxury and impressive performance.
We felt the combination of an engaging driving experience, handsome styling, appropriate luxury inside, and all at a price right around $30,000. We felt this put the G35 over the top.
All right, among the cars the Infiniti G35 beat out, BMW 7 Series and Mercedes CLK Series.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, now we go from the best to the worst. A new survey is revealing the worst things that a woman can say to a man. And Lauren, I know you've got some ideas. So here's what you should never say if you want to keep that relationship.
She could call you a jerk, brainless, even worthless. But a recent survey finds that nothing hurts a man more than hitting below the belt.
It's really small. Is that all you've got?
A recent Men's Health magazine survey reveals that the worst thing a woman can do is insult a man's virility.
It's true.
Beverly Hills relationships expert Bethany Marshall says that it's true for a simple reason.
Men's identity is very wrapped up with their sexuality.
So how do you deal with it? Just remember,
their lives are more than just their penis size or their ability to perform sexually.
Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind, though, right?
I know something about retirement. What really means something is the knowledge that you devoted your life to being.
Behind them is the shortcut they'd heard about that supposedly went around the highway that's always backed up. Ahead of them is that highway. But right now, life is perfect, thanks to an empty road, a full tank, and the available voice-activated navigation system of a 260 horsepower Acura MDX.
This portion of UPN 13 News is sponsored by Acura.
Well, the weekend is almost here, and guess what? It's going to be a wet one for you guys. It'll be cold, windy, rainy. We're not looking at one, but two storms, you guys. Check out all this weather to the north, and that's where it stayed today. In fact, today was not a bad day. We had an area of high pressure that pretty much ruled our weather today, and that kept our skies mostly sunny. The clouds are starting to move in, though. Tomorrow, expect more clouds, and then the rain should fill in. It looks like starting Saturday, the first storm will move in. This is kind of a lighter one. This is the lighter one of the two, so expect light showers. It looks like Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then that will move off. And then Sunday afternoon, it looks like things will dry out a little bit. And then the next storm moves in. It looks like Monday night into Tuesday, and that storm actually packing in quite a punch. Check out the next 5 days, you guys. Now, don't get too worried. Check this out. We have not seen this in a long time. Plenty of rain Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. The temperatures drop into the low 60s and into the 50s. And again, high surf, rain, snow, wind, all associated with this. More details tomorrow. All right, back to you guys.
Mountain high, here we come.
Yeah.
We're out of here. Thanks for joining.
We'll be back tomorrow night at 11, right after the comedy hour of Seinfeld and Frasier, all starting at 10.
Extreme Dating's coming up next with
Jillian.
Jillian.
Good night.